Good evening, everyone. You're welcome to the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinoxe television. In our top stories, prominent African tech entrepreneur, Cameroonian-born Rebecca Enonchong, based in the United States of America, has been held at the Gendarmerie Legion in the economic capital Douala over what the prosecutor qualifies as contempt of court. She has been held at the Gendarmerie Legion in the economic capital Douala since yesterday. That's according to human rights activist Edith Kawala, who tweeted on her Twitter account earlier today. We'll also take you to Tole in Boya, Fako division of the southwest region of the country, to find out the truth behind the pregnancies of twin sisters. Earlier, we reported that they were impregnated by a young man. Equinoxe television moved to Tole to dig deep into the matter. Equinoxe team discovered from locals that the twin sisters were impregnated by their biological father. You will hear more in this edition of the newscast. Those were our top stories. Good evening once again. You're welcome to join us in this edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinoxe television. We begin with news here in the economic capital Douala to talk about a prominent African tech entrepreneur, Cameroonian-born Rebecca Enonchong, who is based in the United States. She is currently held at the Gendarmerie Legion in Cameroon's economic capital Douala for alleged contempt of court. According to a tweet posted few hours ago by a prominent human rights activist Kawala Edith, Rebecca is being held at the Douala Gendarmerie Legion since yesterday. Her arrest, Kawala further says, was requested verbally by the Attorney General, who accused her of contempt of court. Kawala nevertheless mentions that they saw the African heavyweight tech today and she is in good health and excellent spirits. Unconfirmed reports say during a meeting with the General Prosecutor Tuesday, August 10, Rebecca Enonchong requested that cases concerning her should be investigated by a single inspector. The Attorney General is said to have taken it as an offense. Many are now calling for her immediate release, noting that she was merely expressing her wish to be set free or for human rights to be respected in the country. Also, regarding the mismanagement of COVID-19 funds by some government officials, she was also defending herself, cases leveled against her. And we now talk about this incident that was recorded in the southwest region of the country, notably in Boya. Twin sisters who were impregnated. Earlier reports noted or said that they were impregnated by a young man. But Equinoxe television traveled to Boya, notably Tole, in the Fako division of the southwest region to dig deep into the matter. Equinoxe team discovered from locals that the twin sisters were impregnated by their father. Details in this report with Formi Armstrong Sander. And back to that report in this edition of the newscast. Still now, health personnel at the Soa District Hospital in the nation's political capital, Yaoundé, have taken to the streets. They are protesting, demanding that their benefits be paid them. Benefits which have been accumulated for several months. If these benefits are not paid them, they will not resume work. Smanji Kangebe reports.
Health workers at the Soa District Hospital are angry. The workers are demanding for their rights and other benefits to be paid. We are supposed to benefit from the incomes that come from the hospital. A presidential decree granted us the right. But so sad, at the Soir District Hospital, we are having delays. In the month of June and July, we had nothing.
Au mois de juin et de juillet, nous n'avons même rien perçu.
Parce qu'à ce jour, on a de très
We heard a very bad news from the Treasury that the account of the Soir District Hospital is empty, of which we know we are working.
Puisqu'on fournit de gros efforts, l'argent entre suffisamment.
According to the angry health workers of the Soir District Hospital, the one to be blamed is the person handling finance in the hospital.
Lors des concertations avec le délégué
During one
départemental
of our
du
chats
travail et
with
de
the
la
Divisional
sécurité
Delegate of
sociale
Labour
de la
and Social
Nefou et
Security
Afamba,
of
pendant les
Nefou and
échanges,
Afamba,
on
we
s'est
came
rendu
to
compte
understand
que les
that
personnels
the
ne peuvent pas
personnel
percevoir
can't
leurs
receive their
droits
rights
parce que
because
nos recettes
money
ne sont
has
pas
not been kept
reversées
at the
au
Treasury.
trésor. Qui reverse les recettes au trésor dans un hôpital, c'est le régisseur de recettes. Nous voulons que nos recettes soient reversées normalement.
Unfortunately, we couldn't get to the finance manager at the Soir District Hospital to get her own part of the story. But after the health personnel stopped working, 1 month out of the 2 they are asking for has been paid. The workers say until the 2nd month is paid, they will not go back to work.
Overfishing is gradually leading to the extinction of some species of fish in the Lake Lagdo in Garoua, North region of Cameroon. It is for this reason that the regional delegation of livestock fisheries and animal industry has put a ban on fishing that are illegal. This in a bid to ensure that those engaged in the activity and sales of fish have enough to feed the population. Details with Charles Ekome.
Salesmen and women from the fish market in Garoua, chief town of the North region of Cameroon, are infuriated over the seizure of their merchandise by control officers from the regional delegation of the Ministry of Livestock, Fishery and Animal Industries. In total despair and desolation, they staged a protest in front of the governor's office. They just seized 26 motorbikes and 26 cartons of fish. We just hope that they won't sell our merchandise. This is how we nourish our families and pay our rents. What are we supposed to do now? They have impounded our motorbikes and now we have nothing. This is how we make a living. We have nothing left. How do we survive? According to the Regional Delegation of Livestock, Fisheries and Animal Husbandry in the North region, over 9,700 tons of fish is gotten from Lake Lagdo annually. This situation has contributed to an accelerated pace towards the extinction of fish in the region. It is for this reason that the delegation has suspended fishing activities since July 1st in the region. Francois Irayavai Buba, the delegate of Livestock, Fishery and Animal Husbandry in the North region, says the activity has been going on clandestinely. She also warns that if the situation continues, there shall be no fishes left in Lake Lagdo.
Les espèces de poissons sont en train de disparaître.
Several species of fish are facing extinction because locals don't leave them to go through a reproductive phase. If you noticed, amongst the seized boxes of fish, there are many immature fishes. That's why we have decided to put a stop to fishing for a period.
Dans le long terme, on ne va même plus parler du poisson dans la région du Nord. Tout ce que nous faisons, c'est qu'on ne veut pas que les gens continuent de pêcher à Lagdo.
In a bid to solve the problem, the governor of the region has invited these disgruntled traders to dialogue with the delegate of the Ministry of Livestock, Fishery and Animal Husbandry in the region. Hopefully, in the days ahead, they will find a solution and come to a consensus.
We now talk about the series of accidents recorded on national highways, and the Minister of Transport, Jean-Enes Masena Gale BBL, has taken stringent measures. Nes Masena Gale BBL issued the suspension of 2 interurban transport vehicles following 2 fatal road accidents that occurred in Awe in the East region and Bachanga in the Center region on August 4 and 5, leaving over 40 persons dead. Minister Jean-Ernest Ngale Bibehe granted a press briefing on August 10, during which he made it clear that the suspension will only be lifted at the end of ongoing investigations. According to the Transport Minister, sanctions to be meted to trucks involved in this accident will soon be announced. Regardless, Osum Manu Shehu, driver of National Voyage, and Nsungum Ignaz, driver of Tresor Voyage, have also been suspended for 6 months and 1 month respectively for gross disrespect of the Highway Code. On June 19 and 21, 2021, 2 other accidents on the Chang Cliff and in the Tonga locality in the west region of Cameroon involving General Express Voyage and the Chata Express Voyage left 3 people dead. Transport Minister Jean-Ernest Ngale Bibehe regretted that the series of accidents comes shortly after the special road safety campaign that was launched on June 7, 2021. The Transport Minister has prescribed new measures all that transport agency must go by if they will continue plying the roads. We talk about the communique published by the Senior Divisional Officer for the Manual Division, West region of the country, who has announced a collective funeral ceremony of 49 persons who died and the accidents that occurred on the La Falaise de Chang, that was in the month of January and in July. According to the communique, the governor of the West region, Awafonka Augustine, shall preside over the funeral ceremony of the 49 persons who died in that accident on La Falaise de Chang. And time for us to talk about the Minister of Decentralization and Local Development, who has called on regional and local authorities to develop their heritage sites. He made the appeal in Limbe on the sidelines of celebrations of decentralization and Civil Status Day. Details with Davidson Maimo.
In his address to the Minister of Decentralization and Local Development, Southwest Regional Council President Bakoma Elango Zakio C., the ongoing Anglophone armed conflict has greatly retarded the job of civil status registers, depriving the people from obtaining this very important document.
Compounded with the infamous socio-political crisis has made many a Southwesterner to go without these essential documents. We recommend the creation of numerous special civil status centers in most of our localities of the region.
Limbe City Mayor Motanga Andrew Monjimba, on his part, told the minister feet dragging from some ministries to fully engage in the decentralization process is a serious obstacle in accelerating the most cherished grassroots development.
Aware that blockages and feet dragging persist, but we are sure they are going to be surmounted.
Minister Elanga Obam Georges, in his response, regretted though powers have been transferred to regional and local authorities to manage and develop their heritage, the sector is still lagging.
It must be noted that most of the regional and local authorities do not pay adequate attention to the arts, culture, and heritage sector.
Nonetheless, the minister appreciated effort carried out by mayors and the regional council in certain domain which he said is bearing fruits.
I want to appreciate that in the southwest region, in Limbe councils, people are at work and they are producing results.
The Minister of Decentralization and Local Development visit to Limbe, which was aimed at celebrating the 10th African Day of Decentralization and the 4th African Day on Civil Status, equally witnessed demonstration from Limbe City Council Firefighting Unit as the first council in Cameroon to have this service. The minister left Limbe preoccupied on finding a lasting solution to those who have constructed on areas marked as risk zone after a visit to some of the sites.
Over in Tole, in Boya, Fako division of the southwest region of Cameroon, we take you to discover the truth behind who impregnated two young girls, twin sisters. Earlier reports said they were impregnated by a young man. Equinoxe team traveled to Tole to find out exactly who was behind the pregnancies of these twin sisters who later gave birth. Locals told Equinoxe Television they were impregnated by their father. For me, Armstrong Sanda has more.
A story of twin sisters and their father is dominating talks here in Tole, a suburb in Buya subdivision, southwest region of Cameroon. Equinoxe Television is here to investigate and dig deeper into this story, which has been qualified by most Tole inhabitants as sacrilegious. The twin sisters, they say, were impregnated by their own father.
We talk with them, say we with their papa. They agree. The party we did, the party nice here, and then they sleep with them. Is there a lie? That time when I become for night, you don't say one dog put in a cup.
Mr. Daniel and his twin daughters are no longer in Tole village, but the story they left in Tole is still fresh in the minds of inhabitants.
Something they did. There should be something coming out.
Something they did.
There's something that's coming out.
Reasons why we are here to have them tell us what they know. They came in as internally displaced persons and we gave them this room. This grandmom says they were a bad influence and we sent them out when they left for this house. She took us there. Here, a neighbor points out at different spots where they say Mr. Daniel and twin daughters used to sit together and drink alcohol. From the neighborhood to the market square in Tole, the story is the same. Tole villagers say Mr. Daniel is the father of his grandchildren.
They be just there, they just sleep anyhow, we might picking them. Yeah, so even with their papa, they begin their boyfriend where they give their belly, but their papa to be sleep with them. And they be sent out for here. So we know they picking them fine.
And Tole women want justice.
Yes, but you're lucky for them. Every sick for them. Die for them. Me, I look and say that man no be country. Use Mexico.
The twin sisters are now mothers in Boya town. Living with his children in Boya, Mr. Daniel says he does not understand accusations of him being the father of his grandchildren.
Conscience no be anything, my conscience be clear. Even if I court, I must talk, saying na so. My daughter, I don't feel the people then to the talk.
Mrs. Ndapi Saleh Georgette, Southwest Regional Coordinator of Good Fund Human Rights Watch, an affiliate of Human Rights Watch United States of America, has also been on the story on the field digging further.
From all indications, it shows that the father is guilty. Yes, and the children are hiding the facts, but when questioning them, it's accepted. They view first of all accepting that they are smoking together with their father. And when Camille made them together to go and buy alcohol drinks, everything come to the same and bow back to the same, that the father have been abusing the children.
At the moment, the babies born on the 21st and 23rd of June 2021 are reportedly in good health.
Our sad story regarding the person behind the pregnancies of the young girls, twin sisters. At first, they spoke of a young man who impregnated the twin sisters. Another twist of reports, information from locals reveal that the father is guilty, or their father is guilty, though he is yet to answer to charges against that those allegations pointed by locals in Tole. We come back to the prominent African tech entrepreneur Rebecca Enochong, who is currently held at the Gendarmerie Legion in Douala over contempt of court. This information was published That was by the human rights activist Edith Kawala. She has pressed for her immediate release. Take a listen to Edith Kawala in the following excerpt. She was interviewed by Equinoxe Television.
Enonchong spent the night at the Legion of the Gendarmerie yesterday, and as we are here right now, we are in front of the Court of First Instance in Douala. What are we doing here? There is no complaint, there's no written complaint against Madam Enonchong. There is no warrant of arrest. There is no summons even. She was called by phone to come to the gendarmerie for affairs concerning her. She went, and now she was held yesterday. She spent the night at the Legion of the Gendarmerie, and at this time where we are speaking, she is still under arrest. Why? We are understanding that the gendarmes have said that they received verbal instructions from the Attorney General to arrest her. Verbal instructions? Is this how Cameroon justice works? Now, the Attorney General is the complainant. He is complaining that there was, I guess, something like contempt of court or contempt to a magistrate. I'm not sure how you translate outrage à magistrat. But which magistrate are we talking about? We are talking about the same Attorney General. We have been sitting here for 2 hours because the Procureur of First Instance here has gone to take instructions from whom? From the same Attorney General. So the Attorney General is the complainant. He is the one who has instigated arrest. Apparently, he's the one to judge the case. Is this normal? These are people who are supposed to be guaranteeing justice in Cameroon. This is unacceptable, and we will not stand for it as citizens. It's too much. We have already too many innocent people in jail who have no business there. We are not allowing another one to go in.
The COVID-19 pandemic continues dictating its laws in African countries. Most African countries or governments are now taking other measures in order to avoid spreads of the COVID-19 pandemic. Immaculate Fogwe tells us or gives us some of the measures that African countries are now using in order to limit spreads of this pandemic.
Libya's education authorities have suspended studies in most of the country's universities and research institutions given the increase in the number of COVID-19 cases. The country has equally imposed 12 hours lockdown from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. in some cities. COVID-19 infections in Libya have been rising in recent weeks, with nearly 2,400 new cases reported each day. As of July 8th, a total of 240,000 persons have been infected, with more than 3,400 deaths registered. In Senegal, health authorities are currently struggling to contain the Delta variant. Senegal is facing an explosion in the number of COVID-19 cases. In Dakar, which is the capital city and the epicenter of the crisis, hospitals are filled to the brim, with health workers struggling to manage the crisis. Since mid-July, the country has been recording 900 cases daily. More than 500,000 Tunisians have received vaccines on Sunday as part of a national campaign to control the outbreak of COVID-19 after the country received more than 6 million vaccine doses from Western and Arab countries. The slow pace of vaccination and the handling of the pandemic sparked a wave of protest against the government of Prime Minister Hichim Michichi, who was dismissed by President Kais Saied 2 weeks ago among a series of emergency measures. The Delta variant is responsible for more than 50% of cases in Tunisia. A total of 610,660 people were infected, with almost 21,000 deaths. The World Health Organization said Tunisia has the highest COVID-19 mortality rate in the Eastern Mediterranean region and the African continent.
Sports athletics at the Olympic Games in Tokyo gave the African representatives many medals. Apart from the track and field, some other African athletes distinguished themselves in their different disciplines. Manjikan Gabriel brings more updates on the African nations at the Olympic.
In swimming, South Africa's Tatjani Showmaker set a new Olympic record in the women's 200-meter breaststroke at the Tokyo Olympics. 2 hours, 19 minutes, 16 seconds. The South African became the first to set an individual world record of 2 hours, 18 minutes, 96 seconds at the Tokyo Olympics in the breaststroke event. Funke Oshonaike set a record of becoming the first African and first female table tennis player to compete in 7 Olympic Games: 1996, 2000, 2004, 2008, 2012, 2016 and 2020. Due to her exploits, she was inducted into the 7th club of the International Table Tennis Federation. In boxing, 20-year-old boxer Samuel Taki became Ghana's first Olympic medalist after 29 years since Ghana last won bronze in football at the Barcelona 1992 Olympics. Records were also created in collective disciplines. In football, 21-year-old Barbara Mbanda of Zambia became the first female player to score back-to-back hat-tricks at the Olympics. She scored 6 goals in Zambia's first 2 games in women's football at the Olympics. In handball, Egypt became the first African team to reach the semi-finals in handball at the Olympics. They are also the first non-European side since to qualify for the semi-finals in handball since 1988. They defeated Germany 31-26 in the quarterfinals. Disappointments were also recorded during the games as Nigeria's Blessing Okagbare, who had qualified for her 3rd consecutive Olympic semi-finals and was a medal hopeful, was suspended from the Tokyo Olympics after testing positive for human growth hormone, which reduces fat and strengthens muscles.
And that report ends this edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinoxe Television. Thanks so much for watching. Have a nice evening. Stay in the company of programs on Equinoxe Television. See you tomorrow.